Hey folks, welcome back to TheWindowDog.com. It's about 9 o'clock at night and I am completely exhausted. I was about to head home to take the actual window dog for a walk around the neighborhood, but I thought, wait, the people need an Alside casement window review. So, one of the fun parts about running a small business is that the work never ends. Let's check out this review. So here we are looking at the Alside casement window, and if you're familiar with window samples, one thing is going to stand out right off the bat. The feet of this window sample are on the top. A little bit strange. A cynic might tell you that that's an indicator of the quality control coming out of the Alside window plant. That's a little too skeptical for me. Probably more of an indicator that the fine folks putting these sample packages together don't really understand how they work in real life. It would be easy enough to flip around, but for our demonstration purposes today, we'll just hang on to this sucker so it doesn't try to get away. Now, as you're looking at the inside of a casement window, you'll notice the screen is on the inside. That's a little bit unusual as far as window types go, but it's pretty common for casement windows. A casement window has a hinge on the side and it'll crank outward like a door. If the screen were on the outside, the window would hit the screen as it tried to open and the whole world would come to an end. So, screen's on the inside, that's the way it is with this window, that's the way it is with every casement window. You will notice with the Alside casement window, you have these clips that hold the screen into its spot. Some casement windows will have a screen track that runs along the inside of the frame that the screen clips into. That can be a little bit of a cleaner look, you could say. These little clips don't look bad, but they do, but they are there. If you're the kind of person who's going to be irritated by having these clips there, you might want to look at another option. The next thing you'll notice here is this fold-away handle. This unfolds so you can crank the window open or shut, and then you can fold it back away when you're done with it. It's nice because when it's folded up, it's out of the way of your blinds or your curtains, so it's not sticking out and hitting things. I have casement windows in my house that do not have that, and as I shut the blinds, they hit the handle and I have to move it out of the way. It's a little tiny bit of a hassle that would be nice to not have to deal with. So as we open this window, you'll see we have one lock. There's one lock on the side. Some of your older casement windows that you might be replacing might have two locks, might have one at the bottom, one at the top. This is a little bit of a simpler design. Most new windows will work this way. And then we'll unfold this handle and we'll crank this guy open. Now very quickly you'll learn the advantage to having the feet on your window sample. For example, on most window samples, you don't really need the feet. The window won't fall over, it'll just stand there. The only person that knocks it over is the new window salesman who's a little bit nervous and uncomfortable and he'll be banging into things and he'll knock the thing over. But once you get used to it, this is pretty easy business. Although, on a casement window, when you crank this thing open, the center of gravity of the window moves outside of the frame of the window, and lo and behold, the thing will fall over. So the feet prove important, but we'll manage. So here we have this thing open. You can see on the inside of the sash, you've got three hooks there. When this window shuts, there's corresponding hooks on the frame that will hold that sucker tight on the hinge side. You'll also see as it opens up, we can open it up even further, it pivots way in here. So the sash slides in about 6 inches as it opens, and the reason for that is so that you can pop off this screen, if you're so inclined, and you can reach out there to clean the outside of the window. Now that's something that with some casement windows you cannot clean the outside. Easy cleaning is a big feature with replacement windows, so Alside's designed this sash to slide over as it cranks open, allowing you a space so you can reach out there and clean the window. It's a nice design. One thing to be aware of is that your egress opening, or the emergency exit opening, is then reduced because this hinge slides over. Now your opening is only this big to try to climb out of. This window, for example, would not meet your egress standards. To compensate for that, Alside does offer egress hardware, which has a different hinge, will hinge the sash way over here to give you more opening. It would give you 4 or 5 inches more opening. But if you get the egress hardware, you cannot clean the outside from inside the home. So it's a decision you'll have to make. There is no extra charge for the egress hardware, which is nice, but you do need to pick it when you order it. It would be a real hassle to try to add it back in afterwards. In fact, it would probably just be easier to reorder the whole window. So try to make up your mind with that up front. Now let's spin this window around and I'll show you a little bit about how the lock works, which is kind of neat. These things are heavy, which is an indicator that there's a lot of material in there, which is nice. And once they're in your house, you won't really be lifting them up much, so that shouldn't much matter. But you'll see on the edge of the sash, you've got 2-point lock on this one, where there's a lock on the bottom and a lock on the top. When you throw that one lever on the inside, it moves the mechanism, both at the top and the bottom, to catch that lock and pull it shut. You'll get incredibly tight air infiltration ratings with these casement windows, but you get that with most casement windows. They get you a very tight seal, which is why folks like them. You will see this rubber gasket that goes around the edge of the sash. This goes around the whole perimeter of the sash. Sometimes people think it's wrong or defective because it crinkles up a little bit in the corners. That's just how it works. It squishes in there to get you a nice tight seal. This gasket is covered by the lifetime warranty, so if you ever had any problem with it ripping or tearing, just call up the folks that sold you the windows and they should replace it for you, no charge. If for any reason they're not around, Alside should send you a new piece or maybe even send somebody out to do it, but it's a real simple thing to slide this out, slide a new one in if you needed to. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward casement window. It's very heavy duty, it's a nice quality product. For a little inside information, Alside does only make one casement window, but they sell it as all their different window lines. For example, if you're buying mezzo windows and you order a casement window, you'll get this casement window. If you're buying preservation windows and you order a casement window, you'll get the same casement window. If you're buying the cheap fusion windows that we reviewed the other day and you order a casement window, you'll get this exact same casement window. There is only one casement window that they produce. It's a very nice window, but there's only one. It's available with double pane or triple pane glass. You can get foam fills in the frame. You can get all different colors. Quite a variety of options because they offer this with their very highest end products. So it has to have all the options available that the very highest end products offer. So it's kind of a neat thing. So we like it. The only slight drawback would be that screen track. You will see some other models that'll have a nicer looking screen track. But aside from that, it's a great looking window and we tend to recommend it. So we hope this information helps as you're thinking about new windows. Be sure to check us out at TheWindowDog.com for the absolute greatest source of replacement window information on the entire internet. And remember, we have special deals set up with Angie's List. So if you're looking for a replacement window contractor in your area, check out Angie's List for the absolute best recommendations in your area. You can find cheapest rates in town at TheWindowDog.com/Angie. That's TheWindowDog.com/Angie. There's no better deals. You can see our video on our YouTube page of how to join Angie's List in 3 minutes for less than $4. So it's a bargain too. Enjoy.